Jones.
Don't play with me, bitch. I backhand the fuck at you. I backhand the fuck at you. Don't play with me. I backhand the fuck at you.
What up? What up? Greetings, everybody. Welcome in to another installment of the Universal Jones Show. I'm Brandon Jones, better known as BK Universal Jones on these YouTube streets. I'm going to start to do a lot more streaming as we move into 2026. Stop playing in the backgrounds for other people's channels and actually develop my own. Try to get to 1,000 subs. Try to get monetized. I'm very close. And I need your help to get there. But so I'm sitting here, I'm doing my creative process. I'm like, why not just go live and talk about some of the stuff that I plan on doing as I get these shows rolling, talk about my channel, etc. So that's what I'm doing today, giving you all kind of a background scoop, show you some of the tools that I'm using, how I'm using it, what my plans are moving forward. So yeah, just I think it's fun to show people the creative side of how you do things instead of just popping up, starting to stream and talking, and letting you all kind of know how I plan to do this. My goal is to have a radio style YouTube channel. I look at somebody like Jesse Lee Peterson's show, and I'm like, see, I think that model is going to work very well moving forward, and also doing pre-recorded videos as well. But I want to have something where I slow it down, do about 90 minutes to 2 hours of an actual show, have segments, have topics, have people come in, maybe do some interviews. But I'm kind of tired of all day panels and people just having circular conversations. I want to move the needle a little bit more on my channel. So this is a behind the scenes segment. I've shared a little bit throughout time, but I thought it might be good to just dedicate some time, show people how I'm thinking, what I'm using. For those who followed me over the last year and a half or so, you know that I've worked on a few other people's channels, been over at the Urban Landlord, been on Riding High with Low. Now I'm working with Mooncake on her show. I've helped some other people too throughout this journey as well. They just haven't had as much success as some of the other people, but I haven't put a lot of my own focus into my own stuff. So that's going to be one of my big changes as I move forward. So this is a little behind the scenes. You kind of see how I operate, how I get things done. I'm at my main. I say this is my main studio, it's my home desk. Sometimes you'll see me with another background where I'm downstairs on my island, and I'll stream from downstairs. But for the most part, I'll be streaming here. I'll figure out. I don't know if I'm gonna do green screen or not. I think my background is decent enough. I mean, it's just my crib for the most part. This is kind of the upstairs master bedroom stuff. My shit looks crooked though. I don't know what's going on with that. That looks wild. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna mess with it. So there's a couple things I need to do to get my stuff rolling for today. A couple things I need to do. Hey, what's up, Jennifer? Welcome. A couple things I need to do to get my stuff rolling for today. I need to get my sound clips together, my video clips together. I'm gonna show you all my intro song, which I'm not 100% sold on just yet. I did use AI to create it. So I'm going to preview that, get some feedback from the comments in the chat. I'm not 100% sold on it just yet. There is one that I like, but the AI program that I'm using, they want me to pay like a crazy amount of money for it. I don't know if it's worth it. So I'm gonna play around with a couple other things as we go. Hey, Jennifer, salute to you. I don't recognize your name, Jennifer. How do you know me? I'm getting a lot of new people. Hey, what's up, Sarah? Getting some new folks up in here, which is good. All right, perfect. So let me introduce myself. That might be good since we do have new folks. You don't know who the hell I am, what the hell I do, or anything like that. So my name is Brandon. That's my actual government name, but I go by Universal Jones online. A lot of people know me as Universal. By profession, I am technically a psychologist. I've been a psychotherapist for years. I started my journey in mental health back in 2008. My first job in mental health was working in a psych ward, where pretty much I was just the muscle. You know, I'm a big black dude. I'm 6 foot, former football player. So they brought me in as muscle. and I got paid very well. I worked a lot of overnight shifts, a lot of evening shifts, got getting crazy money at the hospital working in mental health. And one thing that I realized was a lot of the people that I seen on that psych unit were people that I seen in the community, but nobody ever called it mental health. And that was a kind of an aha moment for me to think about, okay, what can I do um, to make a difference and actually try to help educate and help people who actually have serious sustained mental illnesses. I graduated from the University of Minnesota with a degree in sociology, and I didn't 100% know what I wanted to do. My plan was to go get a PhD. I wasn't thinking about working and like full time. My plan was just to get a good job, make some money, live on my own, and then hop straight into a PhD program. But I was a first generation college student. I didn't know crap about applying to grad school or any of that. And I did one of the dumbest things you could do, which was apply to all top 25 schools. You have to be a pretty elite student with some actual work experience to get into those types of schools or some big time connections. Those things I did not have at that time. And I got put on a couple wait lists. I got a couple denial letters. Ultimately ended up getting a master's degree in what's called community psychology. And then right after that, I went and got another master's degree in psychotherapy. And I became a therapist. I practiced therapy full time for 7.5, almost 8 years. Then I trailed off to doing part time, went into management, won a couple prestigious awards during that time, and they helped me launch a consulting business. And I started doing work all around the country when it came to dealing with trauma amongst urban youth, mostly African American youth. So that's kind of how I've landed and made a name for myself. Oh, what's up, Keegan? Welcome, greetings. No, you feel bad for me. No, don't feel bad for me, man. I got enough clout online that you don't need to feel bad for me. I'll be all right. I ain't worried about, I got 5 people watching right now, but the numbers will hit in a minute. Anyway, back to my story. So I practiced as a psychotherapist, psychologist for quite some time. Then I made a transition. I started doing stuff online back in like 2014, 2015. Might have been even a little bit before. Actually, no. I started on Blog Talk Radio back in like 2011, 2012. And had a pretty successful show there. I was on a pretty successful show, pretty frequently called The Context of White Supremacy. Still a lot of like counter racism work and stuff like that. Kind of transitioned out of that to being a little bit more moderate in the middle and more based, I would say, these days than anything. So, I've kind of made some shifts in the way that I approach work, the way that I approach my philosophy, etc. But I have a lot of people come to me asking me questions. They like my perspective on things, etc. So it was time for me to start developing my own content, which ultimately has become what we see now as the Universal Jones Show. So that's a little bit about myself. I'll tell more about myself as I go. But ultimately, my goal with this show is to just offer kind of how would I say this? Objective perspective is probably the best thing. Like I see things, I always kind of see things from multiple different angles to see how do we understand it and why. And sometimes that counters the typical thought that's out there in society. I question a lot of things. I don't mind being questioned or asking questions and having dialogue to come to some understanding. So that's ultimately how I get down and what I do. So let me take you behind the scenes at what we're gonna do right now. So let me preview this song. I need to upload it. It's not. I don't think it's the best song, honestly. I don't, but it's what I'm working with right now. But this is gonna be my theme song for the moment. Let me get to it for the show. And actually, I've had some colleagues, I would say, of mine who created a couple songs for me just based on my personality and what they know about me, etc., and how I operate online. I'm not going to use those as my theme song. Those are just going to be for fun. But this is an actual intro song for the show that I'm thinking about using. So I'm going to play that while I load up some clips, and we'll get some feedback on how this might be. And salute to the folks who are here on the mobile. Salute to StreamYard for giving this dual option as well, helping people branch out with their content. And we'll see how this all goes with the virtual. I know virtual gets a lot of people from all around the world. you never know what people are into, but people like to scroll and kind of find new things. So if you're finding me here and you're sticking around, salute to you for sure. All right, so here's the potential theme song to my upcoming show, The Universal Jones. So I'm gonna play that real quick for y'all.
You're tuned to the Universal Jones show, where wisdom meets work and faith rewrites the code. Mic on, real life, yeah, we talk that, own that. Storms pass quicker when the soul gets a roadmap. Scars on the mirror, but the light still shows. Ain't your word in my chest, that's the spark that grows. From the block to the boardroom, pain's got a name. We don't run from the fire, we refine the flame. Truth cuts noise like a sword through stone. Turn it up, lean in, this is Universal Jones. Faith over fear when the nights get long. Grace in the room and the weak get strong. We fall, stand tall, then we pass it on. Healing ain't a solo, it's a family song. Turn it up, find your zone. Universal Jones. Heart to the hurt, light to the unknown. We heal, we learn, we grow. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Hands up, claim your home. Universal Jones. In the tone, courage in the bones. We rise, we build, we grow. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Call in, check in, it's a lifeline live. From the grief to the grind, we reclaim our drive. Mind like a mission, goals in the sight. Reprogram the picture to the page reads right. Head up, chin set, God at the helm. Character is currency, we rich in the realm. Love is the language, discipline the code. Community the compass when you're on that road. When the weight says quit, we refuse, we choose. If the mirror crack, let the maker fuse. Hope in the heat, peace in the pressure. Step by step, we build something better. Turn it on, Universal Jones. Heart to the hurt, light to the unknown. We heal, we learn, we grow. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Hands up, claim your home. Universal Jones. Hope in the tone, courage in the bones. We rise, we build, we grow. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Give me better, let's go. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Give me better, let's go. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Give me better, let's go. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Give me better, let's go. Be safe, be constructive, be better, let's go. Give me better, let's go.
All right, so that is the potential. Oh shit, turn it off. That is the potential intro for the show. I don't know if I like it 100%. There's another version, like I said, is way better. But what I wanted to show you all was I was gonna make an actual intro video, and I was gonna let AI do it, but AI, this looks super corny, and I'm gonna show you all what it looks like. So one of the programs that I use, can I share the audio from this? It's called Descript, and that's what you're looking at here is Descript. And Descript, let's see, be careful sharing screen audio if you have a guest. Okay. Descript ultimately is a all-purpose editing tool. I pay for Descript. I've used it for years, mostly on podcast work that I do for other people. And they've been unleashing a lot more AI, but the AI, I mean, it's good if you're using an AI avatar. It's not the greatest if you're just having it generate clips. So before I started the show, I threw in the audio from the song and it generated some AI visuals here. And I think they look like trash. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, for folks who don't know, it's a little bit of my branding and stuff is I'm big on owls. So it did pick up on the owl thing. That's dope. That helps me. And see, they're just playing a song, but the zooming is pretty bad. So I might have to just do my own edit. The zooming's awful. And then it's catching the song, it's catching the words, it's kind of kicking, it's kind of working there. The wisdom, the owl, all that goes together. But then it just blacks out here. There's no, no image, no nothing. Then it gets to this guy here with like some fire. He's talking about like, standing up, being strong, having courage, etc. Things that I talk about, when I'm, because really, ultimately, this channel is a personal growth channel. And that's what a lot of my work is around personal growth. So that's what we're looking at here. So they're showing this character. Another thing I noticed too about this AI is that they don't give you enough diverse skin tones. Like it's always like a super pale white person, which is interesting. Not that I don't honestly I don't care. But it'd be interesting if they did diversify a little bit because all audiences aren't just the same thing. But here, so they try here. They try here. As I say that, they try here. So they talk about, people and all this, but it just looks kind of choppy. So again, as cool as AI is, it still has its limitations. It will get better as we go. But even here, like it says Universal Lokes Home, like this is weird shit in here. So I'm not gonna use this, but I did want to show this tool because it is dope. I mean, it's easy to use, but you get what you get what you get. So if you don't have the skill set, you might want to use other things. But so I'll have some video. I might just mash up some clips of myself, both from my personal life, professional life, and then just stuff that I've done online, so people can kind of get an idea of who I am as I kind of rebrand things. I did rebrand my show. This channel, it still shows up as by Brandon Jones. That's fine, but I shifted it to the Be Better Network because what I'm going to be doing moving forward is I'm going to have a couple different shows on here. But I've already rolled out shows with my friend Lionel as we have been having these conversations around child abuse, and around people who are predators and who are harming and attacking children. So that series has gone pretty well on the show. We're going to continue that. We actually might have an episode tomorrow on that. I also introduced the show with one of my friends, Jimmy, who's also a psychologist. He does a lot of he's a psychotherapist, I should say, not a psychologist, but he does a lot of work, like myself, here in the great state of Minnesota. And with him, we have this show called Banter, where we talk about just different elements of mental health and being Black men in the space. And then I'm going to be having my regular show where I talk about my perspective on a couple different things, current events. I'm going to be talking about stuff that happens on YouTube too, because a lot of people ask me about analyze this, review this video, do this. I'm going to be looking at that stuff too. I'm going to talk a little bit about sports, like today, if I do the show today, if I do it tomorrow, I'm talking about Stephon Diggs and his brother, because I think that there's some interesting stuff happening there. And I actually know a little bit of personal stuff about Stephon Diggs because he played for the Vikings and he knew a lot of people that I knew personally. That is an interesting character. So I'm going to talk about Stephon Diggs and his brother. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my friends around the internet and some of the things that they have going on as well. One of my good friends, John Galt, right now, him and Jeremy, another content creator, are linked up. Jeremy's been staying in his home for about 2 weeks, and one of his homes in DC. And Jeremy's a white guy living in Southeast DC, which is very Black populated, urban Blacks as well. And he's seen some very interesting things in there. People are like, hey, respond to this, talk about what Jeremy's seeing. What do you think about it, etc. So I'm be responding to those things too. But again, so the channel's taking a shift, and that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The bad thing about shifting a channel and the focus is that you lose audience that you already built. So people who come here for specific things, they're not going to see those things as much, or they're going to have a different spin on. I'm gonna have a different spin on those things, so they might not stick around, right? So the familiarity with myself, the familiarity with the content will shift. But the good thing is it brings in new audiences and new people, and it gives a fresh perspective. Ultimately, my goal with this channel is to help people develop and move forward to the best of their ability, to just grow, to do something different, to understand themselves differently, to think differently. Because I think at the end of the day, we can all be better. And I'm not saying like I'm the ultimate authority, but I do a lot of personal development stuff, whether it's coaching, therapy, building programs, working on initiatives across the country. And that stuff doesn't always get out to the public. It usually is contained with the individual or group or company, or even sometimes a city or town. But how do you get that decent or good information out to other people? That's what I'm going to attempt to do with this channel moving forward. So, I'm not going to be clowning around too much. Like I said, if I'm going to do open panels, it's going to be very well organized. It's not just going to be people arguing about circular topics and just going back and forth. Like, this channel is going to be directed at trying to have strategies to help people really move forward and not necessarily get caught in cycles. So that's ultimately my goal with a lot of what I got going on and a lot of what I'm doing. Oh man, JP just hit me back. I wasn't planning on being here long anyway, but I might have to cut it short because I'm about to help JP start some stuff up. All right. For folks who don't know JP, that's Jay Prince. I've also done an episode on him recently as well. Okay, so this is Descript. As I said, that looks pretty whack. So we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna show some. I need to add sound clips to StreamYard and video clips to StreamYard. And I'm just gonna show you some of my clips and what we're gonna do. I don't have all my sound clips edited. I just realized that some of them are in video form and not audio. So we're gonna preview some of those, and you'll get when I play these or why I play these too. Because some of these are just funny. Some of them are inappropriate too. But it's just me being funny. I feel like I should talk about something though.
Women cheat.
What do I want to talk about?
They don't.
We do.
Y'all don't.
We do.
Nah, I don't want to talk about relationships right now. What else should I let people know? This is just behind the scenes. I'm just streaming. I'm not really doing anything productive right now outside of getting my channel set up.
90% of the time, I'm sucking dick.
Yeah, these chicks getting freaky. Let's see. Oh, let me talk about the show structure a little bit more. So one thing, like I said, the format that I think was gonna work well is the JLP format. And that is one that I'm going to try to replicate if I can. What's up, Speak? And a couple things that JLP does that I like. One, he always has a question of the week. He calls it the biblical question. I'm not going to call it that. It's going to be the weekly question where he engages his audience around like what they think. He's challenging them to think about their worldviews ultimately. That's something that I want to do. I think that that's a smart thing to do when you're developing a community, when you're developing an audience, is asking them a question. So I've generated a list of questions that I'm going to, oh shit, can I not open this? Okay, there we go. That I'm going to start asking. So when I do my shows, I'm always gonna have a question of the week, and I'm gonna encourage people to answer the question in chat. If people want to come up and share their perspective on the question, I'm gonna find video clips to support the question or the content of that what I'm asking. And as I build out a new Discord server that's going to be specifically around personal development for folks, we're going to be having conversations around that as well. So I really want to cultivate a community and an opportunity for folks to build on themselves. It's the beginning of the year. A lot of people are going to be developing New Year's resolutions. And as we know, a lot of people don't stick with those. Like they start them, they end them, they don't go anywhere a lot of times. So what I want to do is help people keep moving forward, keep building on themselves. A lot of people want to make those changes in their lives at the beginning of the year. But what happens around May, June, July is that, it's tapered off and people are on to something else. How do you help people stick on their path so they can continue to move forward? So I generated 52 questions to match each week of the year for this upcoming year, and I'll be unleashing those as we go. So we'll have a weekly question here where we unload those. So that's one thing that JLP does that I'm definitely going to borrow. He also starts to show off with a little bit of a monologue. Now, it gets repetitive. If you listen to him, you'll understand he gets repetitive. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start my show with not necessarily a monologue, but a piece of a concept. Every show I'm gonna have a concept. So I'm gonna start off with I don't know, like this week I want to talk about social capital. Now I know that that's something that's boring to most people. That's some textbook stuff that I read 15 years ago that most people have no idea what that means or why that's important in their life. But if I can connect that concept to something that is happening today and why it matters, it would make more sense, and people, okay, now they learn something they can apply it to their life, or they can take it and see, how can they run with it, right? Like I look at something, a current news thing that's real popular right now is the Somali fraud that's happening right here in the great state of Minnesota. It's not been a secret about a lot of the Somali stuff going on here. It's just now getting out to you all, but they've been finessing systems for a long time. And they're not unlike other people that have finesse systems. It's just their turn to be caught. And they've done it in such a sloppy way that it's very easy to point it out. So it started here in the Twin Cities, but now it's leaked out to, close to Boston, People are in Ohio checking it out. I think, what was the other state? There was another state that they were unleashing, or they were solving this puzzle of all these Somali daycare centers. But what little do people know, it's not just daycare. So when you hear these, $17 billion of fraud, it's higher than that, because they're not even uncovering the other businesses that are doing fraudulent things, such as chiropractic services and autism. Like, there's these other things, that the little dirty secrets that people don't know, that once they start going down those rabbit holes, they'll start to figure out this is a much bigger problem. So I'll take something like that, like a big news story, and match it to an actual concept and see how it all develops like that. Yeah, you say this, but there's some of them that don't. And I've been no stranger to talk about, in some spaces and places, my affinity for East African women, not just Somalis, but Ethiopians and Eritrean women. Yeah, some of them do like that, but some of them look good too. So you gotta have some balance there. You gotta have some balance. I'm gonna be careful what I say about Somalis, because I have a particular lady friend. I don't want her to come from my head. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh no, my text is going crazy. All right, I'm in a group chat, some YouTube stuff. Yeah, thanks for hitting the like button. Salute to you. Salute to Suggs coming over. Salute to Lionel. So like I said, I'm gonna do my best to take something that's current, have some conversation about it, but also match it to an actual concept, so that we do have some sort of learning going on, something that we're actually moving forward with, not just having circular conversations with no strategy on what we're going to do about it, or how we're going to do it, or even how it applies to our life. These are going to be things that are important. I actually don't. I live by more other type of. Well, I live by more Indians than anything, because I live close to the 3M, the main 3M building. So there's a lot of Indians over here in my area, and white folks. But yeah, they are heavily invested in my city. You know what? Okay, let me just talk about this now. I gotta be careful. I know a lot of these people, but there was let's see if I can find it. There was a special conversation meeting that happened yesterday from the Department of Health, and I was so disappointed, because this is the dirty little secret in the game that these folks play. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. Man, I gotta be so in my real life, I have been able to get into spaces and places professionally that are good. Like, I'm on a lot of boards, I'm on a lot of committees and stuff. I do a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of these people that are like in the headlines now. So I have to be kind of careful how I talk about this stuff and when I talk about it. But I do want to talk about it. I don't want to be. I'm not scared. I'm not running from none of it. But it is interesting. And I've seen this video, and normally I would be in these meetings. That's the funny thing. I would be in these type of meetings, but this was broadcasted on the local news yesterday. And let me see. I'm gonna look back at my YouTube history to see if I can find it. I watch so much YouTube that it's probably gonna be buried pretty deep in here. And the main lady that was talking, I know her. And I was just disappointed, because these people are not telling the truth. And I know what they're doing. They're playing a legal game. They don't want to get sued. They know Minnesota is hot. All national eyes are on them. So they're trying to be careful with their words. But to me, I'm like, it'd just be better if you just admit, like, hey, we messed up. We missed some things. This group of people took advantage of an opportunity, and we're going to do our best to hold them accountable. But instead of saying the truth, they're caping for these people, and they're acting like the fraud's not happening. But now you got all these people, citizen journalists, national journalists, just different talking heads, who are exposing the truth. They're literally going to these places. They're looking up documents. This stuff is not hard to find. They're calling people, and they're exposing the truth. But then you got these people who are playing politics and acting like it's not happening, and they're playing dumb. It is insane to me. And I'm like, why not just tell the truth? But these people they're not telling the truth. I don't think I'm able to find this video. I'm looking through. Oh, wait, here it is. Oh shit, here it is. All right, let me share. Let me because you're not gonna be able to hear it. Let me switch browsers. Let me copy this link, bring it over to Chrome, so I can share a little bit and play a little bit of this and talk about it. Oh, man, I'm not logged into my premium account. Hold on. I'm struggling. This is behind the scenes, so I'm not struggle streaming because I wasn't prepared to talk or do any of that. But let me log into the right Google account. Let me get everything going on here. Set it up right. Set it up right. Just bear with you, brother. Bear with you, brother. Let's see. And I didn't watch this whole thing, but what I did watch sickened me. Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. Damn it! Hold on. What the fuck? Chrome just went crazy on me. Give me 1 second. It just made me like open a whole fucking new browser. It logged me out. Hold on. Damn. This was sometimes this is another thing too. Some of this stuff is so smart that it just starts to fuck stuff up. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, god damn, I didn't want to open a whole new Chrome profile. Just fucking play the video, man. This stuff be driving me crazy sometimes. Universal sounds better than that panel from last. Hey, man, I have nothing to say about that, man. Yeah, listen, I'm trying to do something over here. Some people want to have conversations. They don't know how to have them. They just so used to just hopping on the stream yard and talking, man. Like, you got to have some structure. And again, I try to help provide these things. I try to steer people in the right direction. I can't control nobody, so I got to do this stuff myself, man. All right, let me see. Okay, so this happened yesterday. This is DHS, Department of Human Services. Like I said, I know people on this call. I gotta be careful. But it's so disappointing how they are handling this situation of the Somalis, man. Like, it'd just be like, why not just say, we messed up. We made some mistakes. We trusted people and they took advantage of our system. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to hold people accountable. We're going to clean this up to do right by the citizens of the state of Minnesota and to make sure that the community gets the quality services that we say we're going to do. I don't see what the harm is besides you're admitting that you messed up in that. But instead, they are caping for these folks like nothing's happening. But it makes the department look bad because you have all these other people who are exposing the truth. Literally, citizen journalists, talking heads, content creators, national news, people who want to do investigative journalism. Like, they're exposing all the truth. But here you are being a goofy and trying to play a political. That's how we got in this mess. You're playing politics and you got finessed by some finessers. Story time. One thing that people don't know about me, I know I tell a lot about myself. One thing you guys don't know is I used to be really into filmmaking. At one point, that's how I know how to do editing and stuff like that. I wanted to be a filmmaker as kind of like a side hobby, not like for a full-time job or anything. And I've made a few documentaries. And in making these documentaries, one of the things that I've learned to do is that there's a way to tell a story visually, and there's a way to do things that help you to craft the narrative and to really to tell the truth that you want to tell. You can spin any type of information any type of way. Okay, and it's important that we understand that. So when you get these opportunities to share this type of information, you have to do your due diligence and make sure you're telling a good story. This is not a good way to tell a story. And this is not going to work. And yeah, anyway, I'm a pause on the story. I just thought about maybe I should tell that another time. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this video. So this is the Department of Human Services, and they're going to start talking about the fraud.
Services. This briefing is part of a series requested by the governor to keep the
So the governor requested this, Tim Walz, requested that DHS come out and say something. Okay. As you can see, this is on Teams. Or no, this is not Teams. Yeah, this is Teams. This is Microsoft Teams for those who have never used Teams. And they're gonna start talking about what is happening, what's going on from the state side, and
Media up to
they don't
speed
do
on
the
our
job.
actions to prevent and disrupt fraudulent billing in the state of Minnesota. Today, I'm joined by John Connolly. He's the Department of Human Services Deputy Commissioner and the State Medicaid Director. He's going to update you on our progress in prepayment review with our vendor Optum. At the end, we'll have time.
Optum is a big vendor of medical billing. I know some people that work for that company. They make good money. And they have inherited a mess. They haven't ran it for a long time, but they've inherited something that I don't think that they realized. And they have a lot of cleaning up to do.
For some questions for John and others who have joined us on the call today. So John, welcome and thank you for your time again today.
This guy has a big job. I'm going to keep eyes on this. He's probably going to be gone in about 2 years. He's about to go through so much stress. If he's not run out, he's going to get stressed out trying to solve this problem. What we're seeing with this fraud. Oh, this is the part of the story I did want to share. So what we're seeing with this fraud is that it's so multi-layered. It's what's called a wicked problem. A wicked problem. This is a concept. A wicked problem is a problem that can be solved with the ABC solution. It's not clear like that. It usually takes multiple different angles to address a wicked problem. This fraud is a wicked problem. Why is it a wicked problem? This is where I was going with my filmmaking story. This is the big premise of it. When I was studying to do films, when I was in undergrad, I took a bunch of film classes. One of the film classes I took was Africana video something, and we looked at African films and we looked at French films. And what I learned was one of the themes of that genre of film is they picked up on a piece of African culture where Africans are stereotypically seen as swindlers. Hence why we talk about tethers, right? And this is like a very well-known thing in the UK for filmmakers. In Africa, they always highlight this swindle. And a lot of their soap operas, their movies, they have like this like trickster, swindler, swiper, no swiping type of dynamic in them, because that's one of the generalized characteristics of Africans. And they're not talking about Somalis. They're talking about all the Africans. They all are tricksters, which you can say any ethnic group probably has that element to it. But for some reason, especially the French filmmakers, they picked up on it very quickly in different countries that these Africans are trying to get over on people. So that's what I thought about when I thought about my filmmaking. It was like, shit, this was something that I learned in class years ago. So now we have Somalis who are being highlighted as these super finessers, which they've been doing. And they took advantage of your generosity, your liberalism, your guilt, your willingness to offer so many things, and you got finessed. And that's what happened. And they didn't just finesse the daycare centers, they finessed a whole lot of different businesses. And the truth is about to come out. That's that's where my frustration is with these people, is that they're acting like this ain't true, like this stuff ain't happening. But all these other journalists and folks are coming and exposing the light. It is so fascinating. So let's listen to this guy. He has a really big job. He's getting paid very well. And like I said, I would be surprised if he lasts another 2 years in his job. If the stress doesn't get him out of there, he's probably going to get ran out, because he doesn't understand that and this is one thing about leadership. I've been in the leadership positions for years. When it can be a group of people, it can be one person. But when they F up their job, at the end of the day, you're the captain of the ship. So if you don't fix that problem quickly and have a strategy or solution that seems like it's going to work or doesn't nix the issue, you're going to get ran out of your position. Trust me. So let's hear from him.
Hey.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to begin by stating what we've said many times before. DHS has zero tolerance for fraud. We're not just talking about reducing fraud, we are taking action. And this includes moving 11 additional Medicaid benefits into a high-risk classification, enabling tighter oversight with
And that's the thing about teams. Shit don't always be working good.
John, you're muted.
That's why that's why I like Zoom better. But again, they're in a state system. They
Thank you very much.
Microsoft.
Appreciate the
He's
alert.
also reading from a script.
I'll start over. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm going to begin by stating what we've said many times before. DHS has zero tolerance for fraud. We are not just talking about reducing fraud. We are taking action, which includes moving 11 additional Medicaid benefits into a high-risk classification, enabling tighter oversight with pre-enrollment site visits, unannounced site visits, criminal background checks, and fingerprinting of those with an ownership stake, disenrolling approximately 800 inactive providers in high-risk programs, freeing resources to focus on active providers, terminating housing stabilization services due to widespread fraud, and pausing licenses for new home and community-based services and adult day service providers for 2 years, freeing capacity to provide monitoring and oversight of existing providers. One of the important steps that we're taking is adding also an outside audit, known as an enhanced prepayment review, to our process before claims are paid. Today, I'm going to update you on the progress.
Do you guys know how much money that's about to cost? For those of you who don't, I'm in this world, social service world. As a nonprofit organization, if you're a good running organization, you should have a yearly audit, as your own audit. If you're a moderate running organization, like you don't do that well, you should have an audit every 2 to 3 years. If you're a poorly run organization, either you don't get audited, you never audit yourself, or your audits are spaced out in huge chunks, which usually you're in threat to lose your business. You don't want to be doing that. You really should do a yearly audit. Those audits cost thousands of dollars. It's literally a line item on every organization's budget. What he's saying is, and the state already has to do audits. What he just said is that they're going to bring in a third-party auditing system, a company, organization, to come in to do more auditing to make sure that the claims are good. They already have an internal process to do that. So they need another non-objective party to come in and look at the same thing. That is not good. That is going to cost the states millions of dollars. Do you know how many claims that they have to go through? These Somalians have messed up the system so bad that they are about to create a whole new industry just to police it, which is the auditing system. I don't think people realize that. So if you are a lawyer, if you are an accountant, if you've been in claims, this is about to open up a huge opportunity for business. I wish I was in this business, because you're about to see new multi-million-dollar companies started just to help clean up this mess and prevent it from going on. This is just in Minnesota. This is going to spread to other states. You are about to see a new industry created just to stop the fraud. This is fucking amazing, man.
And implementing enhanced prepayment review here at DHS. As a refresher regarding prepayment review, the governor and Minnesota Department of Human Services announced at the end of October.
Excuse me. I also should mention, this is also going to mess up a lot of organizations and businesses that are billing, which means you're going to get paid a lot slower because they have to audit everything. You're probably not going to get paid as much because someone has to pay for this additional audit. Where do you think they're going to cut from to get that money? What you're supposed to get? This is disrupted. This is going to change how a lot of care is going to be done. Things are going to be slower. You're going to have less staff because you got to pay more. This is effed up so much. People don't even understand. People don't have a fucking clue what this is doing.
That we would be instituting an additional layer of review for fee-for-service payments and 14 Medicaid benefits that we have designated as high risk. We announced that we would be bringing in outside expertise from Optum to review claims prior to payment. We let businesses know that the enhanced review may create some delay in payment. While the process may take longer than providers are used to, we expect some to still receive claims payment within 30 days.
They expect some. One dirty little secret, if you don't know, if you never worked with county systems, The payments take forever. Counties, state, a lot of times it can take 45 to 60 days before you get paid from your when you submit your invoice. If you're running a business, that is very tough, especially a nonprofit. That is very tough because you have to make payroll, you have bills to pay, utilities, you have services to cover. This is going to put a strain on so many organizations and services that the community will feel an impact. This is what happens when you try to run a high trust society with low trust society people. They finessed you. Now it's going to disrupt even further, and now you're going to be harmed. This is a problem, and I don't think people realize how big of a problem this is.
Delay does not necessarily mean that there are problems with claims. It's just necessary time for Optum to review those claims. There is a chance some claims could take longer if there are questions or concerns that need follow-up, and will still pay within the 90 days required by C.
So now they extended it to 90 days pay. That's 3 months. If you're running a business, if it's taking you 3 months to get your claims paid, that's thousands of dollars back to your business. Your cash flow is going to be tight. You're almost waiting a full quarter before you get paid. This is about to shut organizations down. Trust. I've been an executive leader for almost 10 years in this space. This is going to put a strain on folks. You're going to see nonprofits close. You're going to see organizations close. You're going to see organizations merge. Those that have better cash flows and different business setups are going to be able to merge and take over others that don't. This is about to change the dynamic. We already had issues with folks struggling to maintain employees as it is. And then you add in the component of AI and virtual reality where it's cutting into businesses. This is about to change the landscape of this whole workforce. These Somalis, boy. Where's Vanta?
CMS for all legitimate claims. Since that time, we've been working with Optum to set up and launch this process. And I'll share information about the two biggest parts of that work. First, establishing a process to securely share claims and data so that Optum can review and flag claims for DHS. That process was finalized at the beginning of December. Second, providing Optum with access to 3 years of paid claims data so they can look for trends and issues that we should focus on here at DHS. We're expecting to be able to share more information about those findings at the end of January. With the systems in place, we're now starting the ongoing prepayment review process with Optum in earnest. And that means businesses may start to experience some delay in receiving payment.
What did I just say?
Now we'll share a slide to show the process.
Trust me, I do this. I've been doing this for years. I know this business. This is how I made money as a consultant. People call me to come in and clean up their businesses, their programs. This is going to cause such a disruption that people don't even know what's coming. They don't even know. This is what happens when you have high trust society. My daughter just sent me a text message. She's asking for a gift card. Didn't Christmas just happen? Why is she texting me about gift cards? Christmas just happened, and her sister's birthday is in a couple of days, and she's trying to finesse me. You gotta love children. Anyway, this is going to cause such a disruption. And I'm telling you, pay attention to this man. I'm going to try to keep my eye on this guy, particularly in this story, because I guarantee he's not going to be in that job in 2 years. He's going to dip out because it's going to be so stressful. He's going to be like, you know what? F this. I'm out. Like, man, because this is just, you can't solve this problem. People don't understand how much this fraud has caused the issue. This is about to change the whole landscape of an industry. It's going to create opportunity. Like I said, those folks who are going to be those auditors, they're about to make crazy money. Crazy money. Shit, I might be trying to figure out a way for me to figure out how to do that myself. But what it's going to do to the services is going to put a huge strain on folks. Huge strain. I might have to clip this.
DHS will continue its existing internal claims review process, as you can see on the slide here, which includes a system review of more than 700 automated claims checks based on requirements such as member and provider eligibility, prior authorization, service limits, and instances of other insurance coverage. Second, every 2 weeks, DHS will send Optum batches of claims to analyze. Optum will flag claims they identify as needing further review, and DHS will make final decisions about payment. This added layer of review will slow down payments to businesses for individual claims, as I mentioned earlier. Third, if a claim is flagged, we may need additional information and documents from the provider before payments are made. This could lead to additional delays for providers, but as I've said, we'll need to meet the 90-day deadline to pay legitimate claims as required. Fourth, if signs of fraud are detected, DHS will not pay the claim and providers will be referred to our Office of Inspector General for investigation. We are only just now beginning this process, and so do not have specific information about any payment delays at this moment. I can tell you we sent more than 80,000 claims to Optum in the first cycle of review last week.
Did you guys hear that? They sent 80,000 claims last week on the first cycle. 80,000. Lord, I don't see. This is why. Well, let me back up. A lot of people who are covering this, what's up, Gary? A lot of people who are covering this don't really realize the impact it is. They're just looking at the spectacle, right? It's like, oh, these Somalians, they're just finessing the system. But the damage that it is doing to a whole industry, you don't even realize what is about to happen. And this is why we really have to slow ourselves down and break down what's going on and really have a conversation about this. The Department of Health sent 80,000 claims through their first cycle. That's just cycle number one. That's just what they could easily pick up now. And like I told you guys, this is not just daycare centers. This is chiropractic services, adult daycare, because we're looking at children daycare, but adult daycare. This is where you take care of people who are like vulnerable adults. They got a lot of that fraud going on. Another thing that happens in the Somali community that people don't know is that for some weird reason, and some people might say it's because of the interbreeding. I did ask Banta about this. He said it was because of inbreeding. But a lot of Somalian children have autism. I don't know why. I'm not here to say this because of the inbreeding. I need more evidence. That may be the answer. But there's a lot of autism. So there's these autism organizations that have just sprouted up from Somalians. Man, I should take you guys to the. I should go and do my own investigative journalism. There's a building. It actually got messed up during the George Floyd riots over in South Minneapolis. And it used to house this program called the Fathers Project. I used to do contract work for the Fathers Project. And when I would go do my contract work, there was a lot of Somalians in that building, and they would have all these fucking businesses and these people walking around with like crutches and shit. And I'm just like, what is going on? That's why I picked up on the fraud. So I'm like, who's billing for all these like medical things, these chiropractic businesses? These people have been finessing this system for a long time. That was back in the day. That was probably 2014 when I was doing that type of work. And they still run that building over there. They still got a lot of businesses in that building, but you'll see, just like you've seen all those daycares, they will have a storefront with a weird name or the name's not spelled well, and nobody's really around, right? It's literally just a stage front. But these people are billing so many different services that they just sent 80,000 claims for that first auditing review. That's a lot of claims, people. 80,000 is a lot. The crazy part about that 80,000 is probably only maybe 30 or 40 businesses. They have a lot more they haven't even uncovered yet. This is so big that I don't think people even realize what is happening, bro.
Providers.
By the way, we're only 8 minutes into this video. I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to cover this again later so I can actually go a little deeper into this, because this Somali fraud thing is way worse than people actually understand.
Will know if their payments are delayed through the remittance advice they receive every 2 weeks from DHS. The remittance advice indicates the status of the claims they submitted, either paid or denied or suspended. Claims that are in the prepayment review process will be listed as suspended until a payment decision is reached. These adjudication decisions are accompanied by reason codes, which should help providers understand when there is a delay. We know changes in processes can be confusing and
Salute truism. Salute.
and concerning in cases for providers. And payment delays can cause real challenges for many providers that we work with, the majority of whom are legitimate businesses doing hard work to provide important services to millions of Minnesotans.
There's the quote. That's what I started off that kind of got me on this soapbox to actually talk about this now. That's the cope right there. They're going to keep supporting and say, no, most of these businesses are doing the right thing and what they're supposed to be doing. Show us those businesses. Show us those businesses. Highlight who's doing the right thing. They won't do that. They won't counter the narrative. They're just going to make these false statements. Highlight which one. I guarantee you there's more fraud than good businesses doing the right thing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I see it. I'm telling you, I'm in this space. There's more fraud than good. Show us. I would challenge them to start highlighting who are the businesses doing it right so we can champion those people, those organizations, and give them support. But they're just going to make these blanket statements because they want to play the political correct game. Instead of saying, hey, just stay focused on the facts. We got finessed. We made mistakes. We're correcting those mistakes. We're hiring these auditors. We're going to clean this up, Minnesota. We're going to get this together. This is the great state. The land of 10,000 lakes. All that great shit we like to talk. Just stand on principle. But no, they got to play the politically correct game, and that's how they got themselves in this mess in the first place. Sometimes listen, I'm from here. I love this state. This is my home. No matter how crazy it is, this is my home. But boy, this is the stuff that I'm like, how, like this is why we are in the midst of all things that are messed up. It's because of attitudes like this. We want to play both sides without just being honest. And then you get finessed by these people.
If there's one thing that I can encourage them to do to help ensure timely payment of their claims, it's this. Make sure you are providing us with the exact legible documentation required for claims when we request this information from you, and make sure your documentation matches your actions. We'll now have more eyes on the documentation, and that will cause more questions. Every time we have to stop the process to ask for better documentation, that will take time. Mm-hmm. So that's an overview of the prepayment process.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead because I'm going to get to the woman that I know. And she's cool as hell, man. She's cool as hell. Damn, I know he talked for this long. I'm going to have to go back and watch some more of this. But I'm going to get to her part so you can kind of see the cope again. This is where I started. When I hopped on the live yesterday, I seen her talking and I was like, oh, shit. I knew what it was. I knew what it was. So I'm going to get to her part. You hear a little bit of what she's going to say. And you can kind of see the narrative being created, what I was talking about earlier.
Department of Children, Youth, and Families. And we know there's been some news over the weekend.
And I got to be so careful with this. I know a lot of people who work for this department, like people, they know me. They like we cool. We cool. I'm in this space. Hell, I almost work for this damn department my damn self. I got to be very careful here.
And that many of you are interested in. She has a brief statement to share, and then...
Salute to Lo. Lo, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I miss you, Lo. I miss you.
We can take questions from you. So, Tiki, if you want to come on camera and open your mic, we'll get you spotlighted for everybody.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all today. My name is Tiki Brown. I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. And just making sure the spotlight is working.
It is.
We're in good? Okay, excellent. All right. So again, thank you for joining today and allowing me the opportunity to join this press conference. We are aware of a video that's being circulated that has gained local and national attention about child care centers in Minnesota. While we have questions about some of the methods that were used in the video, we do take the concerns that the video raises about fraud very seriously. Each of the facilities mentioned in the video has been visited at least once in the last 6 months as part of our typical licensing process. And in fact, our staff are out in the community today to visit each of these sites again so that we can look into the concerns that were raised in the video.
She starts it off with a bang. They've had a staffer go out to each one of those facilities in the last 6 months that was in the video. We need the reports. They need the department should come out and say, hey, in July of 2025, we went to this childcare facility, and this is what our staffer said. In August of 2025, our staffer went to this daycare center, and this is what they seen. Yada, yada. They need to come out and tell us what the hell they found in those reports, because those buildings look like they have not been inhabited for months. So somebody failed at some point in time. Somebody failed at some point in time. Like, so I'm saying they're trying to play the political correct game, and they're gonna get sued, man. They're gonna get sued. This is how you lose the faith of the people. This is how you lose the faith of the people right here. Playing both sides. You got to be honest. Tell the truth.
At the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, we care about making sure that every dollar of the Child Care Assistance Program and other programs is going where it's supposed to be going and used as intended. We have no tolerance for fraud, and we're committed to doing everything we can.
Brad, Universal, get off. Turn it off. You're telling too much. Oh shit! Who's calling me? Who is this? Yeah, I might have to stop talking about this.
To investigate allegations.
I'm gonna have to stop talking about this.
Minnesota has a robust system for childcare licensing and program integrity. We have made significant improvements to the process in 2018, again in 2019, and continue to evolve our efforts. We also know that professors are also evolving their tactics.
I was gonna wait till I actually did my episode to go a little deeper into this, but I'm gonna let the cat out the bag a little bit now and go farther into it later. She just said about 2018, 2019 is when they were doing all this stuff. One of the things that you all don't know is that one of the reasons why they were able to get so much money was during the pandemic, dollars were flying to nonprofits. Like it was raining dollars. It was raining dollars. The rainmakers were making it happen. It was like when Drake goes to a Houston or Miami strip club. You know what? It reminds me of the movie Players Club. The nonprofits were the strippers. Do you remember when they were at Dollar Strip Club in the movie The Players Club? And they had the pro athletes came in there, and the strippers was like, "Come on, girls, we gotta go. We got big money upstairs." They had like hit a little buzzer. All the strippers was running to the floor. If I can find that clip, I'm gonna use it tonight, because that was the nonprofits. They were the strippers, and the ballers came in. They hit that buzzer, and they went to that that locker room where the strippers at, and all the nonprofits came running just like the strippers upstairs. There's money upstairs. That's what happened during the pandemic, because during the pandemic there was a surplus. There was low regulation. A lot of people weren't paying attention. They were just giving dollars with low regulation. So the finessers who already been finessing, these Somalians, they're not the only ones. They were like, oh shit, they're giving all this money. Nobody's really paying attention. Let's go. There was so much surplus COVID dollars that people were getting rich, multi-millions. That's how this finesse was able to really skyrocket. If you watched the documentary by I forgot the guy's name who just posted that documentary. They showed the years, and if you notice, they started in 2020. They didn't have the 2019 and 18 stats. They started in 2020 because that's when the money went through the roof. Millions of dollars. Millions. Everybody was eating. The pandemic has, in the nonprofit social service education world, has been over for about 3 years now. 2023 was when it started to really like slow down. And when it started to slow down, people were still operating like, hell, we're going to keep getting this money like it's no tomorrow, but the money dried up. So now what is happening in the nonprofit world is that people are having to cut back. The foundations are cutting back. Everybody's cutting back because the dollars aren't there, but they're still operating like they were big balling. There's money upstairs. The money ain't upstairs no more. So what's happening is now people are playing catch up. They're catching all the fraudsters, all the scammers. They're playing catch up because they're like, wait a minute, something's not right here. We gave all this money and we're not seeing the results. This documentation doesn't make sense after we're asking for these things. And where did the money go is the biggest question. So that's the dirty little secret that many people don't know about. It's fascinating. Oh, I miss you too.
And so we are on a continuous improvement process to ensure that we are aware of those methods and are addressing needs and concerns.
Oh shit! Somebody wants me to get off. They done called me twice.
All Minnesotans, community members,
local
business owners, center employees, parents,
I'm here.
Concerned citizens can submit a tip to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families if they suspect fraud. Information about reporting fraud can be found on our website at dcyf.mn.gov/report-fraud. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions that folks have.
Thank you so much.
All right. Salute to Tiki. Like I said, I know her. I mean, if you do enough Googling, you could probably find me and her on a panel together not too long ago, honestly. Tiki's a good person. I don't blame her for any of this. I don't even blame the other guy. They are products of their conditioning, not even their environment, their conditioning. When you have such a liberal mindset, people will take advantage of that, and you will turn a blind eye to things that you probably shouldn't. You should be a little bit more scrutiny, right? A little bit more caution, because you're offering a high trust product, service, opportunity to people who don't come from the same cultural background. This is the danger of believing that we're all the same. We're not. Culture is so important. And when you have folks, when they find a loophole, you can't blame them for taking it. To be honest with you all, I'm not even mad at these Somalis, man. I'm not. They finessed you. You got to be better than that. In this world, it's a cold world. John Gold says all the time, it's a gangster country. And if you're going to get out gangstered by the people who you are trying to help, that's on you. It's wrong. I don't believe in it morally. No. But they finessed you. They got you. And now you look stupid. And you still trying to play the political game. Fuck all that. You got to come in here like, look, they did this and we about to come down with the hammer on these motherfuckers, man. Like you gotta boss up, man. I hate weak stuff. Yeah, for real, man. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's not the, like I said, the daycare center is not the only finesse. They've been finessing a lot of stuff. It's going to come out. The numbers that you guys are getting now, I think they're like 17 billion is the number. It's way higher than that. Trust. They don't even know the number. These people don't even know the number. They got these other auditors coming in. This is a huge finesse, bro. Huge finesse. So let me stop. Because I'm telling too much information. Let me see if Tiki actually gets a hard question, because I didn't see this part.
Question.
Thanks for taking my question. So if these places were visited in the last 6 months, were those unannounced visits or?
Aha, good question. Good. Whoever this let me back it up. Great question.
.gov/
Listen, he's going to ask about the visits in the 6 months. Great question.
That, I'm happy to take any questions that folks have.
And let me actually, before she answers this, let me tell you why it's a great question. He's asking, were these unannounced site visits or were these announced site visits? I've been in this industry for a long time. I guarantee you these were announced site visits. Why can I guarantee you? Because I've had them done myself in my organization and I've been a reviewer to others. I guarantee you these were announced. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Brown. So we'll start out with Lou Ragus at CARE 11. Lou, what's your question?
Thanks for taking my question. So if these places were visited in the last 6 months, were those unannounced visits or were they announced and even scheduled in advance?
Great question. So all childcare centers in Minnesota receive one annual visit from the Department of Children, Youth and Families from our licensors, and these visits are unannounced. In order to
She's lying. She's lying. Bro, you can't do an unannounced site visit. Not once a year. You can't just pop up, hey, we're here. That's not okay. Come on, T.
best evaluate the center's normal operations. These visits generally focus on licensing standards to ensure that the children in the center are safe and well.
They need to release the reports from those site visits because I'm telling you, these are not unannounced. They let you know, hey, well, what I can say is if they were quote unquote unannounced, they gave them a range, like, hey, we're gonna be here during this week, just to let you all know we're gonna stop by during business operation hours. That's probably what they did. They don't just show up randomly, like, hey, pop up. They don't do that, bro. She's covering her own ass right there.
Cared for. And if there are any program integrity concerns, then these are also reported by our licensors and evaluated to determine additional investigations that need to occur.
And honestly, it actually makes them, what she said actually makes them look worse, because if they were unannounced and they didn't catch what we're catching now, somebody dropped the ball or they didn't go. Like, this is not good.
So then just as a follow-up, when these particular ones from the video were visited, were there children there?
There were.
She's lying. She's lying.
Thanks for the question, Lou, and the answers, Commissioner. Let's go to Ryan at KSTP.
Oh, no. I probably shouldn't have played this.
Given your response to Lou right there, you said there were children present at each one of these unannounced
Where'd the kids
visits.
go?
I mean, the number of kids present, did it match what your records show?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on, is there an inconsistency of what we see in this video? And do you dispute what this video is saying?
Sure, I can elaborate a little. So we do have, as part of our licensing regulations, we do have the number of children that are available and able to be at centers, and our teams do match against who we will see in the visits on any given day that they visit. We're also aware that children may be out, due to illnesses, etc. And so there are some.
Oh my God, I'm about to blow a lid. Those buildings look like they were not functional. There was nobody in those buildings for months. Unless they did the site visit and just disappeared right at the site visit. Come on, man, we can't do this.
That occur. I think with the video, what we certainly saw is, I think we have questions around when were these visits, when were the videos taken? For instance, were they during times that the center was?
See, now she needs to stop. This is Minnesota. Let me give you guys some context. This is Minnesota. In the wintertime, that video was done not too long ago. It's been cold here for about a month. About mid-November is when it really got cold and we started to get snow. In that video, there was snow. It was daylight time. It gets dark here now in the winter at about 5 o'clock. About 4:35, it starts to get dark p.m. They were out there recording in that documentary during daylight time. People were out and about. Now, are they saying maybe they went on a Saturday or Sunday? Possibly. But I watched that whole documentary. They looked at operating hours and all that. They were talking, hey, we're here. We're during operating hours. No one's here. They called the place. they called these places. They asked people who live near it, who frequent the area, other business owners. They said they see nobody. This is what I'm saying, man. They're coping.
Is scheduled to be open. Was it during the weekend? I think there's some clarity questions that we'd like a little bit of additional information on, which is why our teams are out today making additional unannounced visits to again confirm, are there children in these child care centers, and gathering additional information from these centers so that we can answer any of the concerns that were raised in these videos.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's go again to Quinn and KTTC in Rochester. Quinn.
Hi, Commissioner. It appears that the Department of Homeland Security is visiting some of these facilities today. I'm wondering if you could just comment on, whether DCYF or any other state agencies, as far as you're aware, are cooperating with or working with, I guess, those federal investigators, and any other comments you have on that.
You were a little hard to hear, but I think what I heard is it appears that there's some federal visits that are occurring, and if there's some cooperation between state agencies.
Sorry, let me see if I can get a little closer to the mic here. Any comment on the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, sort of working and visiting some of these facilities today?
So I'm not aware of any operation that is occurring from the Department of Homeland Security. Certainly, I may not be up to date on my emails, but I don't believe that we were informed, of that operation. We will certainly look into that and see, what more we can learn about that. But to my knowledge, I don't have any information that has been shared with us from Homeland Security about any operation that they're conducting with these child care centers.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Jeff at the Star Tribune, go ahead with your question. And then we'll probably have to finish up with Ken after Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff. Jeff, we can't hear you.
Yep, I got a two-parter. So first off, has the state, as response to the video, paused payments or planning to pause payments to any of these 10 or so centers that were named in Nick Shirley's report? And number two, had the department previously, before this video was released, had it ever identified or flagged any of these centers as concerning in terms of, signs for fraud? Had you paused payments or withheld payments or denied reimbursement claims because of questions about, whether these were fraudulent or, some kind of improper request for money?
Sure. So we don't, for the current child care centers that have been named in the video, we have not paused. There isn't a current pause on any of their payments. They are, those continue to move forward. As we gain more information from the folks that are out visiting today and gathering additional information, that may change. But currently, there is no pause on any of those individual centers. Several of these centers have been evaluated for program integrity.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear that correctly? Hold on. Whoa. Let me back this up a little bit. Did she just say they're still paying these people?
Number two, had the department previously, before this video was released,
Hold on. Did I just hear that correctly? I was kind of doing something in the back. Let me back this up. This is gonna be my last thing. I'm getting off this street.
Go ahead, Jeff. Jeff, we can't hear you.
Yep, I got a two-parter. So first off, has the state, as response to the video, paused payments or planning to pause payments to any of these 10 or so centers that were named in Nick Shirley's report? And number two, had the department previously, before this video was released, had it ever identified or flagged any of these centers as concerning in terms of, signs for fraud? Had you paused payments or withheld payments or denied reimbursement claims because of questions about, whether these were fraudulent or, some kind of improper request for money?
Okay. His question was, the businesses that were in the video that has just gone viral, has there been or is there currently any pauses in their billing? That's what he wants to know. Are you still paying these people? Here's the answer.
Sure. So we don't, for the current For the current child care centers that have been named in the video, we have not paused. There isn't a current pause on any.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What? Bro, I might have just no one else is covering this. I don't have enough views. I need to be on PBD. Somebody, yo, what the? Are you serious? This is what they need to do.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. Your thoughts.
Whoa! Has anybody else covered this? They're still paying those businesses. Hey, yo, I need this to go. I gotta clip this. I need you guys the 5 people here. Please spread this.
We have to finish up with Ken after Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm just gonna play this one more time, just for clarity purposes.
Jeff, we can't hear you.
Yep, I got a two-parter. So first off, has the state, as response to the video, paused payments or planning to pause payments to any of these 10 or so centers that were named in Nick Shirley's report? And number two, had the department previously, before this video was released, had it ever identified or flagged any of these centers as concerning in terms of, signs for fraud? Had you paused payments or withheld payments or denied reimbursement claims because of questions about, whether these were fraudulent or, some kind of improper request for money?
Sure. So we don't, for the current child care centers that have been named in the video, we have not paused. There isn't a current pause on any of their payments. They are, those continue to move forward as we gain more information from the folks that are out visiting today and gathering additional information.
Holy shit.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Well, shit.
They're still paying them.
That may change, but currently there is no pause on any of the those individual centers. Several of these centers have been evaluated for program integrity in past several years. Some of them have been operated for a number of years. One of the centers called.
So I told you guys they've been doing this for years. I told you guys.
The Learning Center closed just over a week ago. I think another one that was mentioned had closed maybe even several years ago. So there have been ongoing investigations with several of those centers. None of those investigations uncovered findings of fraud. So that's where they currently stand. I will say, regardless of past findings, our team is just committed to making sure that we address any of the concerns that currently have appeared with the video. And that's why we are committed to working today to gather information and to assess and analyze additional information for those centers that were identified.
I'm gonna pause it right there, folks. This is so bad. I feel bad for my girl Tiki, man. This is a good woman. This is not her fault. This is the state's fault, man. Damn, bro. This is worse than I thought. This is worse than I thought. This is crazy. This is crazy. They're still paying these businesses. Bro, we're cooked, man. I'll be back to cover this in better depth. We need to clip that and get that out there. I don't think people are even aware of that. I think I just uncovered something, man. Listen, it's your boy Universal, man. Listen, I'm going to bring you some good content. That's one thing I'm going to do is bring some quality content, man. I'm not going to disappoint the people. Stick with me, subscribe, share this, get this out, get the numbers up. I appreciate you all. This is a little behind the scenes. I was just prepping, wanted to stream, wanted to talk to some folks, get some stuff off my head, out of my head, off my chest. And here we are. It's amazing, man. I'll be streaming some more over the next few days. I'll be doing some traveling too. So I'll be streaming from some different locations, but y'all take care of yourselves, man. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out. Amazing. It's your boy Universal, man. Be safe, be constructive, be better. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Jones, 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 Jones.